I'm a coffee drinker through and through, so when I first had Earl Grey tea in a scone, I was more than a little skeptical. But you know what? It works and it's delicious. So today we're going to be making some Earl Grey lemon blueberry scones. Let's get into it.
To make these scones, we're going to start off with the dry ingredients. So to a large bowl, add 2 cups of flour, a half cup of sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and a half teaspoon of salt. Mix together until there are no lumps or clumps, and then set aside. Next up are the wet ingredients, so I mixed together a half cup of buttermilk because I actually had it in the house for once, 1 large egg, and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. If you don't have buttermilk, heavy cream mixed with a little lemon juice will also work for this recipe. Anyway, mix well and then set aside. Then pull back out the dry ingredients and add a half cup of unsalted butter that has been cubed and frozen. Using a pastry cutter, cut the butter into the flour mixture until it resembles breadcrumbs. I usually get in there with my hands after a little bit to break up any remaining large chunks of butter. And once you're happy with the consistency, it's time to add the flavorings. For these scones, I added 2 bags of Earl Grey tea, the zest of a lemon, and about a cup of washed blueberries. Mix everything together until the blueberries are well coated with flour, and then pour in the wet ingredients. I mixed this with a spoon until the flour was hydrated, and then got in there with my hands. This was a tip I learned after a bit of Googling, but you don't want to actually knead your dough too much, otherwise you'll end up with tough scones. Instead, press the dough together until you get a cohesive mound of dough, and that will help create a light and fluffy scone in the end. Anyway, once the dough started to really come together, I pressed it out into a circle, cut it into 8 even triangles, transferred them to a Silpat lined baking sheet, and then popped the baking sheet into the fridge to chill for about 20 minutes. Follow for part 2.